Sorry, everyone, for being unconventional. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a introduction, but I'm going to plan on not, so that way we don't encourage any other pauses. Thanks for everything. And again, my name's Tony Choquehuanca. I'm a sales director with Altec, and I am going to be going over during this presentation a little bit about DocLink, how we can automate all of your accounting processes, but really talk a little bit about some of the specific things that are unique to DocLink with acuMatica. So, Sarah, if you could advance, there we go. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the sales order process, but also talking about why we would go paperless, being able to look at different documents from different locations, making sure that people don't have to necessarily be in acuMatica to find things. Being able to streamline a process is something that's critical. Again, acuMatica has some good workflow processes, but what about those folks that don't have access there and need those type of components? So again, going paperless helps with minimizing the data entry, really eliminating human error, and being able to also simplify audits. And we could definitely talk about that down the road. The bottom line is we're really trying to focus on any document, any process, anywhere. So again, some of the benefits of DocLink just inherently is cost savings, is looking at off-site storage. We have people that I'm going to be seeing someone here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that's saved about 75% of their space just because now they have everything in one component and don't have to worry about off-site storage. Time savings, making your team that much more efficient, making sure, as I mentioned earlier, that the data entry, taking the human error out of it, automating these processes, and having a strategic initiative is something that's helpful. Being able to grow without adding staff. That's something that I see a lot. I mean, when we talk about what's the cost of DocLink, and again, we encourage you down the road to reach out to us, be able to talk about specific scenarios that you have with your customers. But I have a customer that said, you know what, I'd rather purchase DocLink and have automation help me instead of hiring somebody new and bringing on that additional staff. It just made much more sense to do it that way. And again, they were able to make their team more efficient and able to reduce the amount of time that invoices were going across. So how does DocLink work? Well, one of the things that we really wanted to talk about is looking at this slide. Kind of keep this in your mind as we go forward. Now, just as a reminder today, we're really going to be going through a high-level presentation. We're not demonstrating anything. What we're trying to do is give you an idea and maybe have a light bulb moment go on and be able to think about something that would be applicable for one of your customers. So think of this screen. This is the repository sits there. We're going to capture documents in all kinds of ways, either by OCR, coming in by email, maybe a mobile device is coming in. We then want to push it into whatever process that we need. Again, remember that integration with acuMatica is critical because this allows us to gather information from acuMatica and put some flavor on those documents, be able to push documents into acuMatica with index values that we retrieve from the system. Also, giving them that ability to have a view document button while I'm in acuMatica on a voucher entry screen, for example. Click on the button that says view documents, and now you'll be able to launch DocLink and see those specific documents. We're going to talk about later the ability to deliver documents to on the AR side. Maybe I can combine certain things that are helpful for us, and on a packing slip, an invoice, whatever it might be. These are all things that inherently DocLink does. And again, want you to think about as we go forward with this, this allows us to retrieve documents either by the web or by your cellular phone, whatever it might be, you'll have that capability. So why do we start in AP? Well, one of the things that, regardless of how much we talk about everything being in a enterprise system, it always seems to come back, and we most times, I would say 80% of the time, start in AP, because that's where all the paper is. That's where, you know, going into different people's homes or offices, I can tell where AP sits because those where all the banker boxes are lying. And that's something that's important because we really want to help eliminate that and be able to help our customers be much more efficient. We're going to talk a little bit about that, the whole P2P, the rec to check. And again, in general, you know, starting from their acquisition, creating a purchase order, all the way through to a payment. That's something that's critical. And if we look at a typical AP process on our next slide, we are going to see where that invoice is received. Maybe someone has to open it by mail in a very traditional way. A PO needs to be generated, route that mail, have it coded, approved, all of this, all the way up until the end where I'm filing an invoice and allowing people to find these documents. In the past, a very manual process. Filing goes into a filing cabinet where it needs to be retrieved. With DocLink, we're now being able to get rid of all those components. Now we're able to code a document. However, we're now leveraging information that we have from acuCONNECT. We're now able to approve things electronically and not creating paper, and then with a batch import, push it into the general ledger and push it that way. So we're really eliminating those manual tasks for those users and not necessarily requiring them to be in acuCONNECT to do all this work. Here's a real quick example of what something like that would look like in the, if I have an invoice, maybe I captured it with OCR and I'm going ahead and indexing and getting it approved. I can send an email for that approval. Once that's approved, I'm then going to be able to import that, push it into the ERP system where now I can capture any payment. I can capture that check stub. Now that gets put into our electronic filing cabinet. So if I do get a phone call about a specific invoice, I will have a copy of that check, an image of that check, and an image of the invoice so I can do my matching there. Now, going back, I'm going to take a step back when we're looking at that approval process. What we're trying to do here is give you the ability to approve in different ways. Here's an email that we're able to send to an approver telling them, you've got 5 documents that you need to review. Go ahead and open up DocLink and find those documents and approve it. Or I could actually go into, I can actually send an individual email to that approver, attach the invoice, and right from here, I can either click on the highlighted amount that, or highlighted hyperlink down below that says approved or denied, and quickly I'm done with that. If I wanted to review, I could also open up that attached document that would also have the coding on there as well, potentially. If I had a mobile device, if I had a phone and I'm out and I retrieve my emails that way, I could easily do the same thing by clicking on approve or denied right off of that and still be able to open up that image as well. And going back to that individual who has 5 documents that they need to review, here's an area, this is what they would pull up. They'd be able to find out, okay, what's my workflow? And I can go ahead and find those invoices easily by opening up DocLink and click on the appropriate one and approving in that way. I mentioned earlier about coding, and that's something that's important, and that comes across in this slide because I can be outside of acuCONNECT and go ahead and code with information. Everywhere you see a magnifying glass, those fields are actually coming from acuCONNECT. So I'm in DocLink leveraging all that information, but not touching an acuCONNECT license. From there, I can see the images, I can see any notes, any history, audit trail, all of that is available for me. So again, knowing AP and beyond, that's something that we want to make sure that that we allow you that ability to do any type of visual matching or any type of matching if you're leveraging OCR. again, we want to make sure that no matter where your approvers are, they have the capabilities to approve it. There's no excuse now to say, hey, I was out for the week, I couldn't do it till I got back. We really want to make sure that we eliminate filing and reduce human error by minimizing the data entry and that rec to check automation. So let's talk a little bit about how DocLink works with the sales order process. And again, that's something that I think is important to look at, that a lot of our customers are starting to have questions about, and how can DocLink help? And I think that's something that's kind of exciting. Again, whatever you see today, hopefully it's stirred on a question, or maybe a customer or something has come up. Reach out to us and we'll be happy to do a custom demonstration for you, have a further discussion, and answer any questions you might have. Because a lot of times in that sales order, the challenges that we see are kind of similar, but a little bit different, right? We're spending a lot of time with data entry, being able to track and find misplaced orders. It's just really difficult to find all of the pieces now that they typically don't all come at one time. They're coming at different areas. So we want to make sure that we have everything. We can bill our clients on a timely basis based on key information. I thought the next slide is a pretty good, interesting from an independent source that talks about when organizations automate their processes or their sales order, all of a sudden they're saving between $5 and $15 per sales order. They're reducing sales order cycle times by more than 46%. So again, I think it's something, if you or your customers are struggling with that, it's definitely worth a conversation with someone from Altec and your business partner to be able to explain and really dive into that. So let's kind of go over that area where we're going to, as opposed to the P2P. Now we're talking about that quote to cash, where everything coming from the beginning, where we're a quote, we generate a customer PO from the sales order all the way down to the picking ticket. Now everything needs to be pushed out to a customer with all the associated documents with the AR. So when we look at the next slide, what we're looking at is some of the benefits. Again, we're trying to reduce that data entry, very similar to what we talked about. We want to make sure you have control over that approval cycle, having full visibility of what's going on. So then we can quickly distribute those invoices, any supplemental docs or backup documents that can be sent out, and really freeing up your staff for that value add task. So when we look at these business process automation, when we look at delivering of quotes, we're trying to eliminate manual paper process. We're also trying to eliminate data entry and manage strategic growth when it comes to the integration and automation that a sales order, creating a sales order does. With that handling of signed pick tickets and delivery tickets, we want to make sure there's no filing and there's no data entry with that. The save time and cost with our supporting documents, being able to have all of that, being able to be pushed out is critical. And having those documents right at your fingertips, being able to have better customer support and giving you that full audit trail. Again, those are all some of the benefits that you get when you have an automated process. So let's take a look at that. Typically, an email comes in, and someone that gets that within the organization, we want to make sure that we now handle that. That DocLink is going to monitor emails that come in, so we can grab that order, put it into a workflow, and then notify AR. Let them know that, hey, there is an order in the house. Let's make sure that it gets pushed to the right person. No one's had to wait around and wait for the email to open up. It automatically goes into the workflow. So here's an example of our customer PO with OCR. So here the PO comes. You can see the thumbnail on the left-hand side, and all of the data is being scraped off of the image that you see on the right and indexed in the middle. So now this allows us to, again, we're talking about automating everything, being able to get those line item detailed information that can then be pushed and tracked and combined with other documents accordingly. Some of our customers like to use maybe not OCR, but on the next slide, they'll talk about barcoding. So now when we scan a document that has a barcode on that particular document, we can actually scrape all that information, index it accordingly, and again, just a great way to get everything into one place that we can now start to marry with other documents to be retrieved. When we look at capturing photos, so let's say I just want to take a photo of, I'm out on the truck and I want to take a picture of a delivery receipt, I can do that. When I click on this, I'm able to search and find that particular receipt, or if it's a site photo, I can do that. Click on that, advance that for me, Siri. And from there, I can capture the document. I can use my camera. If I've already taken it a while ago, it might be in my gallery, but I can do that. Here's the picture of the signed document. I'm just going to click on next in the upper right-hand corner. When I do that, all I have to do is type in a couple pieces of information. I can type in the customer name or the job number, whatever it might be. Once that's done, that then it's going to ask me, do I want to have it uploaded? I could push it into DocLink, and now I'm done. I don't have to walk around with that paper. It's already there with an image. So again, talk to us more about it so we can get a better feel for what your current scenario is. But DocLink, again, really is a useful tool to help not just the people at your office, but also out in the field as well. So when we look at our next slide, we're looking at AR invoice with supplemental docs, and this is important. DocLink is able to, with what we call our distribution pack, is be able to grab all of that key information from that particular order. So in other words, as it comes across, we'll write rules that will say, okay, when I get this particular PO, I need to attach a packing slip, an invoice, whatever it might be to that email address that I've already captured, and then that automatically gets sent out for hopefully a quicker payment and a quicker turnaround in that regard. We'll have a predefined email package that's already set up here, and again, trying to do all of this without any manual intervention. This all gets done behind the scenes with the rules that we've created with DocLink. Very important, as I mentioned, being able to quickly do that. I guess I talked ahead of this slide because one of the things that we do here is really improve that customer service, right? So now, not only as this automatically gets done, someone can call me up and ask me, hey, what's going on with this particular order? I can easily find that order number by whatever area that we want to find. If it's a PO, an invoice, pull that up, and I can see all the supporting documents easy at my fingertips. I don't have to hand it off and tell them, hey, I'll get back with you once I find everything. So again, with that accounts receivable, it just gives them that flexibility to be able to find everything quickly so they can continue with their task and not have a simple phone call consume about an hour of their day. We go through a lot of different customers that have looked at DocLink, and I thought I'd share with you just a couple of them that, some of the challenges that they've had and when they brought in DocLink, what they were able to accomplish. Here's a aircraft manufacturer. They're able to capture these documents early and then relate those documents with parts and job numbers. Again, if you think about a plane or any other type of manufacturer, there's a lot of components there. So it's real critical to have all of that information all in one place where I can easily find it when I am searching for a specific job number and find out all of the supporting documents. I can then send all that information to our quality department, where they can then review everything and finalize whatever their next step might be. Another customer that we had was really growing on a really rapid pace, and they really needed to automate their processes in AR. They were looking to kind of do exactly what we talked about, which is have those additional documents available so it could be sent out. So the result for them was they had a 90% decrease in time spent on these AR invoices. Think about that. That's a pretty significant number. Growing without adding additional AR headcount, and really getting rid of all of that physical storage that could come with keeping all of those documents all in one place. So again, you know, the key question is, are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to take that first step? And I think a lot of you are at the stage where we're, you know, looking at trying to get used to acuCONNECT and all the components, but now that next step is, how can a solution like DocLink help? Please reach out to us. We have an email address. Follow us on Twitter, 800 number, and we'll make sure that we get back with you. So with that said, at this moment, I am going to apologize for being a little illiterate at the beginning and not being able to get that up. I should have probably asked one of your 12-year-old kids to help me, but unfortunately no one was here for me to help. But have a great rest of the conference. Thanks everyone for attending, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon.